young talent around. It's exciting to see Ryan Petrick coming off a Coach of the Year accolade last season. Lost a couple of really good imports. Great to see them with that Australian talent coming around.
Proudly Australian, Cygnett is powering the WNBL with its extensive range of charging products, including power banks for your phone. Thanks to Cygnett, your favourite players will stay charged this season on and off the court. Power your life with Cygnett. Visit Cygnett.com. So Bendigo out of the timeout. Plenty of defensive pressure. Jump ball called, and possession arrow remains the way of Bendigo. And we might go down and see Mark Alabakov. What was said during that previous timeout?
Yeah, that timeout, they drew up a play which obviously just didn't go to plan, unfortunately, with a little bit of the defensive pressure. But they, again, addressed a different method in dealing with the drop coverage on the middle pick and roll. So what they're going to use is what's called a hostage dribble, where the guard will come over the top and allow the defender to sit on their... might pause for a second momentarily, and then they'll switch sides of the court. It's called a snaking action, and they'll roll their post to the basket opposite. So look for that on the next play.
We'll keep an eye out, Mark. And take us inside the stadium. Basketball in country Victoria, over 600 games of WNBL experience coming back to Bendigo. Two favourite daughters in Griffin and Wilson. What's the vibe like there in the stadium?
There's a buzz and an energy like there hasn't been in some time. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Two of the favourite daughters of the region. They live in the community. They're visible. You can interact with them. They're great human beings. But then, most importantly in this sort of caper, they're incredible basketballers. Two of the best that the WNBL has ever seen. So, the fact that they're real people and great performers, they're great members within the community, and people can relate to them.
So Froling, last trip up the floor, scores the basket. Now the pass to McKay. Kicks it out to Griffin under pressure. Wurrung driving to the basket and gets the basket to fall, and will go to the line to shoot the bonus. So a nice little run here out of the timeout for the Spirit, and putting a little bit of separation between themselves and the Lynx on the scoreboard.
Tough from Abu Wurrung, and she's the kind of player I'm talking about. That we've seen a bunch of opals that played in that World Cup team, but she's one of several really talented Australian players in this WNBL that are right on the edge trying to push to make their mark on those opals, who'll be looking to make a statement this season.
So gets the bonus to fall, and all of a sudden the Lynx are out by 9. The Spirit are out by 9. Ryan under all sorts of pressure there from McLean. And McLean will be called for the foul. So Ryan, just a bit of chat there whether it will be on the floor or she will go to the line to shoot 2. And in fact, they're going to call an offensive foul on Robbie Ryan. So the call has been changed, and Bendigo. Great defensive pressure from Cassidy McLean on that occasion.
Call there. Love the glue that Ryan's been for the Lynx as well, doing a little bit of everything, filling up that box score. She's the one tying together that talent on the floor with Wickham and shooters like Scherf and Bibby getting buckets.
So Froling with the 3 attempt, can't get it to fall. Ryan now. This time gets the better of McLean. Pass comes away. She did have an open lane to the basket. And now McLean coming down with the rebound. So Bendigo off and running once again. Pass inside, and they get it to fall. So all of a sudden, things just opening up on the scoreboard a bit here for the Spirit.
How's the poise for McLean there? Just holding at the right moment, finding McKay getting her big involved.
So Perth need a basket just to stem the flow at the moment. Scherf under pressure. Fire back for 3. Again, they can't get it to fall. Good rebound contest now. Scherf fires for 3. Air ball. And Bendigo will get possession once again and a chance to extend this margin.
Sammy Wickham, an elite three-point shooter, not finding a range early, but the Lynx still finding a way to stick around. Watch for Sammy to correct that as the game goes on.
So Bendigo up the floor. Wirral. Pull-up jumper from her, can't get it to fall. Scherf, nice rebound under all sorts of pressure. Ryan wants to push it. Bibby kicks it out, opportunity, in and out. And there's been a foul called on Bendigo. fact, they've changed it up to, it looks like a 3-second violation call. So Bendigo retain possession. Wirral, Maley, Froling, drives to the basket, almost loses control of it, does well to retain possession. Maley for the long range three, can't get it to fall. And Perth come up with a loose ball, and Maley will be called for the foul.
Great work there from Annalie Maley. Just the quick hand up to acknowledge the foul to try and distract the referees from considering whether it's an unsportsmanlike. There, just saying, yeah, I've owned that. That was me. Please don't call me for unsportsmanlike.
So 3 team fouls apiece this quarter. So both teams with a foul to give before teams go into the bonus. So Perth just, Nathan, would like a couple of baskets before half-time just to make a little bit of an indentation on this lead of the Spirit at the moment.
Yeah, both teams capable of making a run, so you can see Perth making a run. The Lynx still doing a great job on the glass. Just want to see the ball go through the hoop, but they're getting great shots. You have to think that'll drop soon.
Sure. Back to Ryan. This time the foul will be called on McKay. So 4th team foul for the quarter on the Spirit. And Perth, another opportunity to find a basket. It's really dried up for them over the past 5 or 6 minutes. Maley having a breather.
Maley with 2 there, maybe just sneaking a chance to get her a sit before the half.
And Scherf will be called for the offensive foul.
And that one set up the play before. The Spirit weren't happy when McKay took a flailing arm, and you see they just put some, they've made the point with the last play. Foul got called on her. She puts her body in the line again. Head swings back. Offensive foul, Lauren Scherf.
So Perth call a timeout. And Scherf, a couple of fouls on her now. As we head into half-time, the Lynx just want to talk things over. The 36 plays 25, so we've seen some of the games so far, Nathan, over the opening few days of the season where teams have been up in the 50s and that at half-time. This is a real, defence has been good, but both teams probably are guilty of missing some shots they should have made.
Yeah, you saw that particularly in Bendigo's game against Canberra. You saw them just getting buckets at will, and it's exciting to watch offensive basketball. We love to see it, but both teams have just tightened the screws a bit. They're putting the clamps on defensively, and it causes shots to miss. Pressure does beautiful things, but Perth have had some reasonable looks. They haven't dropped. You'd think that'll drop more as the game goes on.
So the Spirit lead by 11. Both teams up to 14 fouls for the quarter. So any more fouls, we'll see teams respectively go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
I love again that battle on the glass. The Spirit bringing it back closer now. This is Perth 23, Bendigo 19, but Sharp with 8 and Maley with 7 for the Spirit. That's an important one to watch as we go on.
Oh, nice pass from Griffin inside, and McKay is fouled and will go to the line to shoot the bonus.
How about the ball movement there from Bendigo? Just patient, finding McKay inside. Hey, let's go courtside down to Mark Alabakoff. He was in that last timeout.
Yeah, listened in with the Perth Lynx. They were wanting to climb in a little bit defensively on this last possession and then play a little bit of a mixed defense. So that's where you saw them go from the man-to-man to the zone as soon as the ball got passed to the wing there. Unfortunately, didn't pay off for them in that instance. He's asking the group to anchor themselves in an offensive series that seems like they're comfortable within, just to try and find their offensive rhythm and try and stem some of this margin that's on the scoreboard right now, get themselves into a scoring position like Taya Burrows is just right now.
So Burrows, nice drive to the basket and fouled underneath. So she will go to the line to shoot 2.
Mark, is there much talk there in the timeout about the kind of shots that Perth are getting from out? For what we're seeing, it looks like they're getting great looks, just not able to get them to drop so far.
Yeah, there wasn't in that instance. I think the team generally plays towards its identity. So with the 5-out style of offense that they play, they'll run a series of actions, and the mentality is really key or three. They want to try and put the ball in the key way, off the bounce, put themselves in layup range, in positions to be fouled, or force you to have to overhelp. And they've got three-point shooters, including the 6'5" Lauren Scherf, all over the court that, you know, as soon as you help on any dribble penetration, they can kick the ball out and you might pay with 3 points.
So Kelly Wilson for the Spirit. McKay setting the screen. Wilson, short-range jumper, gets it to fall. So Bendigo out by 15 as we close in on half-time. And a technical foul has been called.
Technical foul on the Lynx. It looked like he was pointing towards the bench. It might have come just not happy with the words from the coaches. Mark, I don't know if you can add any light on that, what the tech was for.
No, I can't, unfortunately. I'm trying to sort that out myself, trying to work it out.
Well, I think it was called on the Perth bench.
Patrick looking to make a point. You see there, he's still just continuing the conversation on it afterwards. Maybe a little bit of follow-up. Back to live action, though. 30 seconds remaining in the half.
So Scherf. Burrows looking to drive again. Under all sorts of pressure, finds Bibby. Nice move from her. Drives to the basket. Good rebound from Bibby. Goes up over the top of McKay. Can't get it to fall. And Alex Wilson with an opportunity down the floor. Inside pass, McKay. Great running of the floor from her. Picks up the basket. And the Spirit, well, they're on fire to finish this last quarter. 3-point attempt on the buzzer. Won't fly. And so at half-time, the Bendigo Spirit, terrific run from them over the back end of the second quarter, and they lead the Perth Lynx 43-26. Nathan Stremple.
It was quarter time. We saw the Lynx coming in with some momentum, but great rim run there from Megan McKay. She gets to 10 to lead all scorers, and she's been big for the Spirit there in that battle of Scherf, the inside-outside between Scherf and McKay.
So a good advantage to the home side as we head to half-time. And let's go down courtside, Mark Alabakov.
G'day, I'm here with Chloe Bibby from the Perth Lynx. Not the second quarter that you wanted, unfortunately.
Yeah, not quite. I think we've just got to work a bit harder on D-trans and really be more aggressive in our defense.
What's going to be the difference in the second half? What adjustments do you need to make to play a little bit more of that Perth Lynx style and put yourselves in positions for layups and threes?
Yeah, I think we're being complacent on the offensive end, so just getting through our stuff, and then defensively we've got to ramp it up. You know, we know that crash the O-board's hard, so we've got to make sure we box out and really focus on that down here.
All right, good luck for the second half. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mark. Mark Alabakov down there with Chloe Bibby from the Perth Lynx. As at half-time, the Bendigo Spirit, the home side, lead the Lynx 43-26. And Nathan, let's just check some of those stats.
Well, what's glaring for the Lynx is how they've shot the ball. The Lynx aren't going to win many games if they're shooting from the field at 30%, but from the three-point line, 2 of 16, 12%. You see Chloe Bibby there talking about getting through their sets. So we've said their shots have been okay, but maybe it's a case of some shots in the last 8 making Bendigo play a little more defence, some open shots, but also an opportunity for them to get on the offensive glass more with that defence moving.
And the top scorers for both teams at the break?
Yeah, we saw McKay going to 12 to lead all scorers with that basket right on half-time there. Bibby got going early with 10 for the Lynx. Griffin with 9 as well at the Spirit, and next up for the Lynx is Ryan with 6.
So half-time in Bendigo. Game 1 of our Cygnett WNBL doubleheader on 9 now this afternoon. Coming up later on, it's Townsville up against the UC Capitals. But half-time at Bendigo, we'll take a short break, and the Spirit lead the visiting Perth Lynx 43-26.
It's the biggest WNBL season yet, and superstar Lauren Jackson returns. Turn it up. Don't miss a block, basket, or game winner. Steal the win. WNBL, live on 9 now.
On the special nights of Christmas, Channel 9 gave to me a fresh batch of new celebrities. So come with me, Australia, on a Lego journey. 2 nights of magic for every family. You won't want to miss this Brixmas. There's so much to see. So tune in and watch it on your TV. Or phone or iPad, any screen's fine. Merry Brixmas!
A very special Lego Masters event coming soon to 9 and 9 Now.
I have a family that I have to get back to.
The wait
Gavin.
is over.
And I know that's something that you understand. Welcome home. We're being hunted.
More sinkholes are coming.
How deep
Let's go!
does the mystery go?
You are never going to believe what happened.
La Brea Season 2. Stream the latest episodes on 9 Now.
Introducing She Hoops, an Australian-first online platform for women in basketball. From live mentoring sessions to panel sessions, exclusive interviews with the biggest names in the sport, education and upskilling courses.
Certainly when I reflect on being a younger coach, the majority of the times I would be one of the only women, even in coach programs. You know, even now there's times where you might be, you know, one of 2 women in rooms that you're in.
I was the only woman in the room. What gave me the confidence was I was an athlete. And because you've been able to draw, I have been able to draw on myself, but I was able to excel and compete at a really high level. And so what did that tell me? That told me that wherever I could go or wherever I was, I could compete.
There's one voice on my shoulder saying I'm a badass and I belong here, and then there's another shoulder that's saying, you know, you've got a whole host of women behind you, and this is important to get right. And so to do it with grace, but to do it with dignity, and you know, just to go into it with the headspace, I belong to be here, and I have something to say, and I'm going to listen to them, and they're going to listen to me.
Even though I'd sort of built confidence through my coaching career, I would listen and take things in before I felt comfortable enough or confident enough, and that is shifting, but it's still going to take time. There's still a plethora of rooms that you're in that aren't very diverse.
How do we change that narrative where women and men are as smart as each other? They just sound different.
You feel a little different, right? I'm a big believer in self-talk. I can do this. I belong here. And you realize that every person you know has some kind of insecurity, right? Questions of themselves that make them wonder whether they belong. And so you're just kind of like, I'm good. Really important, especially for women. Women, well, I can't do this. No, you can do it, and you will.
It's very intimidating if you're in a room full of males. I think if you walk around with confidence and you feel like you can fit in, you know, in that moment, I think that's great.
Towards the start, when I first started coaching at a higher level, it was super difficult to find that balance of how do we act in front of females, what do we talk about? But I think putting yourself out there, showing the stuff that you can do, being confident in yourself, voicing your opinion is something that definitely helps when you are the only female in the room, for sure.
I have experience being the only woman in the room. You know what, I still don't even think I have the confidence to stand up and have my voice be heard. At the moment, that's something that I haven't really learned to do, because that's a part of, you know, my learning and my development that I really need to work on, and confidence is a huge part of that.
A new kind of dating show is about to seduce Australia.
I'm Mia Daddy. Your parents have no idea. You'll be watching their every move.
I need that over the kitchen bench feel.
I need shares in Duracell.
I love my mum. Got to make sure he's the right man to fit.
My Mum, Your Dad. Starts Monday 7:30 on 9.
Do not underestimate the power of a good blind. Take this exhausted couch. Now it stands before you. Magnifique. Even this cocktail of dead skin is gracefully waltzing. Da 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 da. DIY blinds. Change the ugly. Take your seats.
It's a home that we built with our heart.
For the greatest.
Everybody wants you to make money.
Grand finale ever.
Going.
In television's biggest event of the year, Love Country's entire dream estate goes under the hammer.
It's sold.
It's our dream home.
Who
Our house is the biggest house on the block.
will
If we can do that, we can do anything.
win?
Australia, this is it.
The Block Grand Finale. Tonight, 7 o'clock on 9. It's the biggest WNBL season yet, and superstar Lauren Jackson returns.
Turn it up.
Don't miss a block, basket, or game winner.
Just not steal the win.
WNBL, live on 9 now.
And welcome back to Bendigo for the Cygnett WNBL, live on 9 now. And the first of our double header this afternoon, the Bendigo Spirit taking on the Perth Lynx from Bendigo. And at halftime, the Spirit with a comfortable lead, 43-26 over the Lynx. And then coming up a little bit later on this afternoon, we head to Townsville where the Fire will take on the UC Capitals. Richard Swenson and Nathan Stremple with you in commentary this afternoon, and Mark Alabakov with us courtside in Bendigo. And Nathan, well, you spoke about the Lynx shooting percentage just going into half-time, but it really hasn't been a great offensive performance from them so far this afternoon.
Yeah, we saw Friday night, even in a loss, 88 points against the Boomers, and let's be honest, great talent at the Lynx, but they go as far as Sammy Whitcomb takes them. So Sammy Whitcomb, elite talent, opening night, 30 points, 6 of 11, I think she was on the 3, getting it done. Tonight, she just has got some decent looks. They haven't dropped. Now, she's an elite player. You imagine she would turn that around at half-time, but Sammy Whitcomb, 2 points, 1 of 7 from the field, 0 of 4 from the 3. The Lynx aren't going to get games with that. But let's take nothing away from the Spirit. We've seen early this season, this Bendigo Spirit team, they take Annalie Maley off an MVP season, goes and gets it done in the WNBA, gets it done for the Opals. She's almost a double-double at halftime with 9 and 7, but then the addition of Wilson and Griffin as well as some elite talent around her makes the Spirit team pretty tough, and we can see they can put points on the board and put them on quickly.
So it will be the Lynx to get us started in the third quarter. Second half action coming your way from Bendigo.
Watch for Ryan this quarter too, coming in, taking the Sammy Whitcomb path, an import in the NBL 1 over for Joondalup. She comes in now as the Lynx import. Had a quiet night on Wednesday against the Boomers, but I like how she's been filling up the stat sheet in this first half. 3 assists, getting others involved, 6 points, starting to find her feet at the WNBL level.
So Scherf penetrates inside, kicks it out to Bibby. That's the perfect start for the Lynx for the third quarter as Bibby knocks down the 3.
Bibby and Scherf there, the Dandenong connection from juniors. Chloe Bibby, welcome to the WNBL. Leads all scorers with 13 for her now.
Inside ball to McKay, gets it up, under pressure from Scherf. Comes down with a defensive board. So brought up the floor now by Ryan.
Lauren Scherf doing a great job cleaning up the defensive glass for the Lynx. There's Ryan. Nice poise.
Still there for the Lynx on offence. Sharp fires away to Whitcomb for 3. That's off. And Maley comes down with the rebound. So Maley now with an opportunity. Little pull-up jumper. Can't get it to fall. Tip back. So Bendigo. That's one of the things that we noticed in their game against the Capitals on Friday night too. The number of opportunities they were able to just get a hand in there and knock the ball back and get that second chance opportunity. So Griffin for a long-range 3. She can't get it to fall.
Yeah, no doubt. Bendigo, a great rebounding and particularly a great offensive rebounding team. Griffin, you just saw how much she put her stamp on the offensive glass when they were winning championships at Bendigo back 8-9 seasons ago. You add Annalie Maley to that, and that's a tough team to rebound against.
So Sharp contesting the rebound, but Bendigo will come up with the ball. In fact, they're going to call a foul on Sharp for over the back. So first team foul for the Lynx in the third quarter. So again, they've had some opportunities in this third period, the Lynx, and they've only got that first shot to drop. So Kelly Wilson now up the floor quickly. Inside pass to Maley. Werung fires away. Scherf under the basket. Good rebound from her.
Lauren Scherf doing a great job on the defensive glass. And you live with that foul from Sharp as well. She's got 8 rebounds to her name as well. So her first foul, you love her attacking the glass like that.
So good pressure again from Bendigo. Now they'll look to drive to the basket. Fadeaway jump shot from Bibby. Superb from her. 5 points for the quarter to date. And all of a sudden it's back to a 12-point margin. Wilson now finds Maley. Bendigo. Maley. Long way from the basket. Griffin come and set a screen. Thinks about the 3 now. Puts it on the floor. Drives to the basket. Good hands inside. But McKay picks up the loose ball and puts it home. So there was another defensive stop possibility for the Lynx. But again, as we've spoken about, just those quick hands from the Spirit, they're able to keep the play alive. Whitcomb fires it inside to Bibby, who looked to have been fouled on the way up. No call forthcoming. And now it's Bendigo down the floor. Nice pass, McKay. And McKay having an afternoon today. Second basket in succession.
McKay, just an old school big, just works off the penetration, always in a great spot, little dump handoff, elite operator in the paint, as is Chloe Bibby. How about Chloe Bibby coming back from the University of Maryland, bunch of tools in a kit bag, inside, outside, getting it done wherever you like.
So Maley, defended by Sharp, ball on the floor, good pressure. McKay finds Griffin. And Ryan gets a hand in there and deflects it across the sideline. So
Bibby and McKay trading buckets. Bibby leading all scorers with 17. McKay up to 16 now. A couple of elite young Aussie talented basketballs.
So Maley it will be to inbound the ball for the Spirit. Finds Griffin. Back to Wilson for 3. That's off Scherf. Thought she'd come down with a rebound, and the ball's been called for being knocked out of play by Bendigo. So Perth get themselves a stop. Again, just pressure up the floor from Bendigo, really causing a few problems for Perth offensively. Pass comes away to Bibby. Drives to the basket. Nice move from her. Chloe Bibby's opened up this third quarter nicely, and the Lynx are back within 12.
Chloe Bibby is a problem for the Spirit at the moment. The Lynx riding Chloe Bibby. She's just able to get the step on Kelsey Griffin a couple of times there. Little mini run now for the Lynx.
And good defensive pressure on that occasion by the Lynx, forcing Griffin into a turnover. Burrows. Inside ball, lovely move. And putting it home is Atwell. So the Lynx back to within 10, closest they've been for a while. Maley driving towards the basket, little pull-up jumper from her, and just stems the flow. Burrows. We'll try to pass it to Scherf. Scherf let it go past, and Burrows comes up with a loose ball. So pass to herself. Scherf now. Inside ball. Knocked away by Griffin. So Perth retain possession.
Spirit having trouble here defensively. Just seeing off-ball cuts from the Lynx, getting past their defenders losing sight. Bunch of looks at the rim. Bibby a couple of times, then Atwell, and there Whitcomb is slipping inside. The Spirit need a counter there with the interior defence.
This is the thing, Whitcomb, she's missing ones that really should be put in. And just that, keeping that bit of separation on the scoreboard. Waring drives to the basket. Good rebound from Scherf. And finds Whitcomb, who tried to run the floor, but Kelly Wilson just did enough to get between her and the basket to slow her down. Now Whitcomb, nice little drive to the basket. Can't get it to fall. Gets her own rebound. Has a shot blocked. Really struggling offensively today, Whitcomb. So Wilson now. Werrell. Griffin. Maley. So just slowing the play down. Bendigo. Wilson fires up. Can't get it to fall. Good rebound under the basket there by Atwell. Now Burrows up the floor to Scherf. Fires for a long range three and hits it.
Here come the Perth Lynx back to single digits. The Lynx making a mini run here, doing a good job defensively as well, containing the Spirit, making them shoot tough shots.
So Wilson driving to the basket. And the foul will be called on the floor.
The big takeaway in that game one against the Boomers was Petrick saying the defensive scheme is around containing interior shots. And first quarter they forced the Spirit to shoot from the outside. As we do go to a timeout, they're doing a good job now containing inside, finally making a little run offensively.
So scoreboard has been corrected. 49 plays 40 is the correct score. 4 minutes 10 left to play in the third quarter. And Nathan, just check some of those stats.
Bibby leading all scorers with 19, McKay with 16. But just going back to what I was talking about, the interior defence, Petrick's takeaway against the Boomers was just that we've got a scheme here. You heard Mark Alabakov refer to the drops coverage earlier in the call, but they're trying to contain interior scoring, protect the paint. And they didn't do it against the Boomers. They did it reasonably well to start the game here. And as we go on against Bendigo, and it was Bendigo's outside shooting that got them going early. But interior defence is where the Spirit have let themselves down in this third quarter. With defenders losing sight off the ball. Bibby, Atwell able to back cut and get buckets on the inside as the Lynx make a little run. Be interesting to see the Spirit, how they come out of this timeout.
So 49 plays 40. And we'll get down to Mark Alabakov shortly just to hear what was said by the teams during the timeout. And DIY Blinds, Australian-made window furnishings that are designer quality at the best prices. Order your free samples today at DIYblinds.com.au.
Speaking of back cuts, nice move there. Mark, what did you get out of the timeout?
Yeah, so listen in with the Perth Lynx. They're having some profit with the back cutting and cutting actions as a form of penetration into the keyway, so that's opening up shooters for them. That play just there that came unstuck was one that was looking for a back cut read for Chloe Bibby. I think that they're going to look to try and play out of dribble handoffs, but giving the receiver of the handoff the freedom to be able to back cut either for layups or to engage that second defender, and then they can kick the ball out for their three-point game.
So Atwell with the three-point opportunity falls short. And Bendigo, the opportunity just to keep this handy little buffer they have at the moment. So Alex Wilson, nice drive from her inside. And the block coming through from Edwards on that occasion. So Perth come up with the loose ball.
Mark talking there, the ploy out of the timeout is to kick out for the three-point game. It's been a non-existent, and again Bibby with the back cut and basket. It's been a non-existent three-point game. The Lynx have shot it at 20%, 4 of 20, and this is a team whose scheme is built around three-point shooting.
Well, Bailey with the opportunity for three. Air ball. Ryan now up the floor for the Lynx, and ball batted away, so the Lynx will retain possession of it. But as you said, they got it back to within 9 points.
Well, back to 9 points, what I was saying, danger signs if that three ball does start to drop, that's when we could see the Lynx getting rolling. Madeline Bailey near double-double, and we're just after half-time. She's putting her stamp on the game.
So Sharp, three-point attempt doesn't fall for her, and Bendigo back up the floor, Werrell. And the foul will be called on the floor. So third team foul on the Lynx for this quarter. None against the Spirit to date. So very clean from them in this third period.
Really intriguing period to watch here. This is the first time in this just started season where we see the Spirit tested. They really had momentum for most of the game against Canberra. The first half was theirs here. And this is a little run by the Lynx now. It'll be great to see how the Spirit respond.
Oh, Maley, lovely put in from her.
I think that was Froling, actually. Froling off the bench. So we see that second unit coming at him.
So Perth now, trailing by 11. A couple of minutes left to play in this third quarter. Inside pass to Edwards. Great defensive work there between Froling and Maley. And the Spirit having all the answers as Maley drives to the basket. Lovely move from her. She's fouled and will go to the line to shoot two. It's been this sort of in this quarter. Perth have had this little mini run, get back within just under double figures, and then Bendigo have been able to just consolidate.
Yeah, really intriguing 2 minutes to watch. We saw that baseline out of bounds play with Froling. The little lob pass there. What an intriguing story for Froling. Like, injuries to her right side of her body. What a ridiculously talented basketballer from obviously a storied basketball family. Just goes, you know what, I want to keep playing professional basketball, so I'm just going to become a left-handed shooter. Who in their right mind can imagine that? Just one of the incredibly talented women in the WNBL.
So Maley makes the second. Back to a 12-point margin. So Perth through Whitcomb. Pass comes away. Opportunity for three, and they hit it. This time through Sharp. So back to 9. Still plenty of time for them to close the gap if they're good enough in this third period. So Kelly Wilson, nice drive from her to the basket. All the way through, kicks it out. Froling. Nice move from her inside. Ball off Maley. So Perth will get possession.
The poise of Wilson there, nice. Running the full 24 seconds, getting a nice look in the last 3 seconds it was in the shot clock with Froling. Couldn't get it to go though. Perth Lynx bucket here. Chance to draw it back to 2 to 6. Could make it interesting.
So Sharp finds Whitcomb. Top of the key. Gets the pass inside. And sloppy work there from the Lynx on that offensive play, and that gives the Spirit an opportunity down the floor. Nice run from Wilson, drives to the basket, can't get it to fall, so an opportunity now for Sharp. Quickly moves the ball along. And a foot on the line. That's disappointing because that was a chance for Atwell to drive in for an easy basket.
Just a killer for the Lynx. They just have a turnover where the ball just floats through Scherf's legs and then stepping out of bounds just when they got an opportunity to go into three-quarter time, making this a game. A score for the Spirit here, though. You're double digits, the Spirit still in control.
So you're watching the Cygnett WNBL live on 9 now. Richard Swenson and Nathan Stremple with you in commentary this afternoon. Mark Alabakov courtside in Bendigo as Wilson gets the pass away, and that's a lovely move from the Spirit. And again, they just keep the Lynx at arm's length.
And that's the poise of Kelly Wilson. Just a chance to get a good look, take the air out of the ball, slow it down, and find her big Megan McKay for a bucket.
So Scherf comes up short with that one. Griffin down the floor. Slows things down. Alex Wilson. And the Spirit will take plenty of time with this offense. Happy to run a lot of the clock. Fires away. Werung can't get it to fall. Good rebound from Whitcomb. So Perth will have the last opportunity. Fired up, long range three. Can't get it to fall. So at three-quarter time, the Bendigo Spirit have an 11-point margin over the Perth Lynx, 56-45. And Nathan Stremple, well, the opportunity is there. If Perth are good enough, they can still make a game of it.
Well, if they're good enough, but we mentioned a couple of minutes out, first time we've seen the Spirit tested, what a way to respond. Control of Kelly Wilson, getting good looks down the stretch. They go in up 11. For the Lynx, it's a couple of costly turnovers, and there's just something psychological about whether it's a single-digit game, 11-point game, just feels a bit different. The Lynx really needing to make a statement coming out of the break, otherwise we may see Bendigo pushing away.
So we'll get you to check some of those stats. Certainly interested to see how many team turnovers Perth are up to, because there has been a few from them this afternoon, and then we'll also get a check of the top scorers.
Yeah, individually, Chloe Bibby's been elite. 21 points, leading all scorers. McKay's on 18. Great numbers for Maley, a double-double at 12 and 10. Scherf and Sharp both big on the glass for the Lynx with 9 rebounds each. But it is that team, those team stats that we're looking at. We've mentioned the three-point shooting for Perth, where they really need to bounce back. But it's been the Lynx turning the ball over 16 times to Bendigo's 8. So double the amount of turnovers. That's extra possessions, extra shots. Tough to win a game of basketball when that's the case. And
Nathan, I guess when you look at some of those stats, that's probably one of the really highlights for the Bendigo side. Like Kelsey Griffin only has the 9 points. Kelly Wilson only has 2 points. McLean has yet to touch the scoring. So they've still been able to go to other players to get that points productivity.
Oh, and they're going to be a fun team to watch. We see a new coach coming in Kerryama, and it's going to be intriguing to watch. I mentioned you've got Maley coming off an MVP season, but she adds over 600 games of experience with 2 players coming in. So how they integrate, who steps up night in, night out, will be what's intriguing to watch. Tonight there's been elite moments where you just see the poise and experience of Griffin and Wilson get.
Courtside. Well, we'll just watch this first possession as Griffin now finds Kelly Wilson under plenty of... McKay steps back outside the three-point line, can't get it to fall. So let's go courtside now and Mark Alabakov.
The Perth Lynx are just looking for more discipline, sticking with the sets that have been profitable for them. There's a series that they're looking to try to run with a bit of on-ball action in it, and they want to continue to try to on-ball the Bendigo Spirit to death a little bit to create those time and space advantages, penetration into the keyway, and then, as there is their identity, those open three-point shots, of which they hit 3 in that quarter. Pretty calm and collected, but praise their execution, but just ask them whenever you go into the well with particular play X, and if it's proving to be good for us, keep going back there and see what we can create and try and get the margin back to a beatable one.
Mark, we saw Sammy Whitcomb had 30 against the Boomers on Wednesday night. Hasn't been her night tonight. Is it just an off night for her? Any word if she's carrying something?
I don't know that she's carrying something. I think the challenge with Sammy is she's such a great facilitator of your offense when she has the ball in her hands. But then if she's doing that and you're getting calm execution in the half court from her and good decisions, then she's not really thinking about scoring. So then you take her off the ball. You really need somebody to come in and create good possessions or time and space perhaps in transition. I think that's where the Perth Lynx got the most profit out of having Burrows on the floor, a transition point guard who on an outlet caught the ball and pushed it in transition. They had lane runners, they spread the floor, she got on the rim or she engaged some help, and then you could get that three-point game going. I think that's going to be the ticket to make sure that you've got another guard there that can create for Sammy and not have Sammy have to do all of it.
So the Lynx trailing at the moment by 13. 58 plays 45 to start this fourth quarter. Alex Wilson, nice move from her, finds McKay, who gets another basket. She's up to 18.
We know Alex Wilson can shoot the ball, but how's the poise and the timing just to draw the defender, little handoff pass? We've seen it a few times tonight, and that's where the Spirit is so dangerous. When you can bring Wilson and Froling off the bench and the players keep coming at you, this Spirit team's going to be tough to guard.
So technical foul being called there against Robbie Ryan. And another opportunity for the Bendigo to extend that margin through Maley. So 61 plays 45. 8 minutes left to play in the final quarter in Bendigo.
We mentioned it there, Sammy Whitcomb not starting the final quarter, but here she is, the captain of the Perth Lynx. As we mentioned, it hasn't been her game to date, but there she is finding Chloe Bibby for a nice look. Foul called on Lauren Scherf on the screen, though. Scherf not happy about it. That one's a killer.
So Perth really struggling offensively this afternoon. I'd be very disappointed. 45 points, early on in the fourth quarter, considering they put up in the 80s on Wednesday night.
Yeah, different game, different opposition as well, but that game Wednesday night, what a talented array on the floor for both sides. But the Lynx here, some defensive adjustments for both teams. Bendigo haven't had it all their way either, and still a game here in the last quarter, but the Lynx really needed to push to get it back to single digits if they're going to stay in this one.
So opportunity for Perth. Ball kicked out. Bibby can't hit the three. Good follow-up. And Griffin does enough pressure-wise on Atwell, who can't control it. And so Bendigo will retain possession. Kelly Wilson having a breather. Outstanding game from her this afternoon.
Could be a factor as this one goes on. Fast-paced, up-and-down game. Second game of the round for both sides. Spirit's a little deeper. They're running a main rotation of 7, whereas the Lynx main minutes have just stayed within 6 players. So that extra player in that main rotation for the Spirit could be important as we go down the stretch.
So 3-point attempt can't fall. Good rebound underneath. Taken by Sharp, and she is fouled on the way to the basket. Will go to the line to shoot 2.
Big offensive rebound for Sharp, and she has been that 6th player in the rotation coming off the bench. Great game for Sharp, 7 points. That's her 10th rebound there. She's been a force for the Lynx on the glass.
So 2 shots to come. And from 4 o'clock this afternoon, we'll have full coverage of the match between the Townsville Fire and the UC Capitals. The Fire, their opening game of the competition, and the Capitals backing up from Friday night. So Sharp makes it 2 from 2. Closes the margin to within 14. Long pass down the floor, finds Griffin. Alex Wilson thought about the 3. Then thought better of it. We'll just slow things down. Griffin. Werung fires for 3 and hits it.
Shooters across the ball for the Spirit, and that's tough when they spread the floor like that. Pick your poison. Werung knocking down the open 3.
So Perth now through Bibby. Nice drive from her, but can't get it to fall. Froling comes down with a rebound. Outlet pass finds Maley. Right-handed shot off the left-hand dribble. That's super from Annalie Maley.
This is where you see the best of the Spirit. It was Atwell on that semi-transition, couldn't get the layup to go. She's on the floor, so they've got an advantage right from the start. And just such an offensive threat, that Spirit team, that all athletes can play with pace. Anyone on the floor can score the basketball.
So the Spirit have got it out to 19, the biggest margin we've had in the game to date. And we might just check some of those stats.
Well, it's not a lot that's moved on since halftime, but what it is that Spirit ability to score and score quickly. So little lapses. I think this will be the story this season. We saw there was moments in the game against Canberra where Canberra stayed with it, but it's those little lapses, little patches, whether it's a couple of turnovers, and that's what it was there from the Lynx. Couple of possessions where they weren't able to score, turnover with the offensive foul on the screen from Lauren Scherf, and the Spirit just able to punish you in a number of ways, and that's what they've done there. And we take a game where at quarter time was on the verge of being a single digit game. Now the Spirit pushing it out to 19.
So the Spirit in full control and looking to make it back-to-back wins to start their campaign to the Cygnett WNBL 2022-2023. And they've been ultra impressive in their opening 2 games. Offensively, very good, but their pressure, that pressure up the floor is just really something that teams are going to have a look at and see what's the best way they can try and overcome that in games to come.
And you talk about the stats, it's still a case of double the amount of turnovers for the Lynx, 20 turnovers, and you've got to give some credit to the Spirit for their pressure for that. The Spirit only the 10 turnovers, just able to look after the basketball better.
So the Lynx find Sharp. Lovely pass inside. And Scherf just took a little too long, and Griffin strips her clean of the ball. And again, just that pressure from the Spirit. Maley thinks about the 3. Drives to the basket. Nice move from her. Can't get it to fall. Froling. Thought she'd come up with the board. Ryan chips in and takes the ball away. Pass comes to Bibi, who is fouled and will get the basket to fall. So nice move from her. And she has been a real shining light for the Lynx this afternoon. 23 points with a free throw to come.
Yeah, what a night for Chloe Bibi. Back home, back in the WNBL. She had a great stint at the University of Maryland, and she has been a walking bucket tonight for the Perth Lynx, a welcome addition to their squad.
So up to 24, 16 the margin. Press from the Lynx, but the Spirit break it nicely. Inside ball to Froling. And Bendigo now not afraid to use the clock. Alex Wilson. Werung driving to the basket under pressure from Scherf. Lovely move from her, and she's up to 13. So every time the Lynx come up with a play, the Spirit counter.
Just such talent on the floor from the Spirit in terms of scorers. We mentioned Bibi, though, for the Lynx. They love what they've got out of her. It's been Atwell who's been quiet tonight, drafted by the Sparks out of the University of Hawaii. They love bringing that Western Australian girl home. Just hasn't been her night tonight, but I imagine during the season we'll start to see the best of what Amy Atwell can bring.
So Ryan Scherf thinks about the long-range three. Still thinking about it. Now going to work. Inside on Kelly Wilson. Gets it up and in. A nice basket at the end. Under all sorts of pressure from Kelly Wilson. Maley now. Kicks it out. Griffin. Spin move from her. Maley opportunity in the lane. She should have a little running jumper from there and sends it home. So the Spirit just offensively so strong. Maley up to 19 points. And a foul called on Kelly Wilson. So fourth team foul for the quarter for the Spirit. Only 2 for the quarter to date on the Lynx.
And interesting to see what Lynx have got here. This one's starting to get in a tough position. 4:22 remaining. The Lynx at the time has to be now. It'll be interesting to see what they've got in the kit bag, if they can make a run and try and get this one back within range.
So Bibi fires for 3. It's short, and Griffin gets a deflection on the ball and send it across the baseline. Kelly Wilson just taking a seat. And we might get Mark just to check on that.
Yeah, didn't see the play. Just looking junior, whether she's just tweaked an ankle. She doesn't look to be in like unplayable pain, but just a little bit of a limp walking off. We'll get Mark's report on that shortly.
So Perth to inbound. Nice move, Bibi. 26 for her. And the Aussie Hoops program has had its largest year to date with over 42,000 participants registering to a local Aussie Hoops centre nearby. Aussie Hoops is the perfect introduction to the world of basketball for kids aged 5 to 10 years. Whether your little one is a seasoned basketball fan or simply looking to get out there and give it a go, we have no doubt they'll have an absolute ball of a time. Register now to kickstart your basketball journey. So,
Aussie Hoops, the best junior sports program in the country, and Chloe Bibi continuing to have her way on back cuts. That has been a problem, but
Griffin drives to the basket and is fouled. Will go to the line to shoot the bonus.
And that's the thing. Bibi's been able to get the advantage of Griffin a couple of times that back cut, but Griffin just a competitor and a veteran going the other way and going, you know what, you're not going to have it all your way, young kid.
So Griffin will go to the line to shoot the bonus. Can't get it to fall. But Maley comes down with the offensive rebound. Finds Alex Wilson for 3, in and out and in.
It's the advantage of Annalie Maley, isn't it? Just gets extra shots, and with the great shooters on the Spirit, it's going to result in buckets.
So Burrows has it now for Perth. Looks to drive inside of the basket and will be fouled by Alex Wilson. So Burrows will go to the line to shoot 2. And I guess, Nathan, that's one of the things as we start to look at the scoring now for the Spirit. McKay has 20, Griffin up to 11, Maley 19, Werung 13, and Alex Wilson to 9. So, almost 5 players now into double figures.
Well, they're spread with talent, and as Mark said, and we talked about before the game, they're spread with fine examples of women, great basketballs, but great ladies and great examples of our game. And you can see and hear on the screen there, the crowd in Bendigo is up and about, and the town that loves basketball, proud basketball town. They won 2 championships not only 10 years ago, so they want to be back at the top of the perch, and it's great to see these girls as an example for the community going at it.
So Froling is fouled on her way to the basket. We'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And I loved hearing the story that it was the other night, Lauren Jackson making her debut for the Flyers. How great to have the GOAT as a mother of 2. What a story. We could talk all night about Lauren Jackson, but it was that Flyers game. Annalyn Bailey was just there as a spectator, just to watch the game, and stayed for hours after the game signing autographs. These are the kind of calibre of people that we have competing in the WNBL.
So Froling misses the first and gets the second to drop. So it's going to be an impressive start to the campaign in the Cygnett WNBL for the Bendigo Spirit. Big win over the UC Capitals in Canberra on Friday night, and now back on their home court. Dominant performance against the Perth Lynx this afternoon. So Burrows drives to the basket, little running jump shot, and she gets it to fall. So Burrows up to 7.
Big statement early in what's a condensed season to go 2-0 and get it done, and just a shot across at all the other teams. The Spirit going, you know what, we're deep with talent, we want to run the floor, and we can score. We can go 7, 8 deep and put buck points on you, and it's going to be a challenge for teams coming up on how they counter that and how they try and stop that Lynx running game. Sorry, that Spirit running game.
So Whitcomb gets the basket to fall, and Alex Wilson with that previous drive, she moves to 11 points. And the 5th player from the Spirit now making their way into double figures, and had a very productive game for the Spirit this afternoon. Griffin under all sorts of pressure. Pass inside to Froling. And we'll get the basket to fall, and we'll go to the line to shoot 1.
Let's take a moment to have a look at Kennedy Kariyama. He's been in and around the WNBL for a long time now, but gets the opportunity at head coach at the Bendigo Spirit. He'll just breathe a little sigh of relief tonight. Start the season 2-0 is a nice way to get things going.
It's better than being 0-2 when you've got your head coaching assignment. So Froling will go to the line to shoot the bonus. And can't get it to fall. So Burrows up the floor for the Lynx. Long range 3-point attempt, can't fall, but the rebound will be taken there by Gandini. Sharp, pull up jumper from her, gets it to fall. So Sharp continues her good game for the Lynx this afternoon. Has been a shining light along with Bibby for them.
And nice to see, we talk about the talent of the league this year and the top end, the veterans. There is name after name in this WNBL. What an exciting season to watch. But we've seen these sort of moments where the results decided, some of these young, talented players coming in, getting their chance off the bench to get their moment.
Well, Alex Wilson's having a wonderful game. Up to 13 points for her, and the Lynx can't get one through Sharp to fall with a left-hand layup. So Bendigo. Final passages of the game. Wilson firing for a 3 from long range. Just won't get that one to fall. And so the Lynx will come up with possession. But a comprehensive performance again from Bendigo this afternoon.
And I mentioned it earlier in the call, like a sign of the talent that the Spirit have. Ali Wilson was championship winner with the Sydney Flames, and she was an elite part of that starting group that won the championship there. So the luxury of bringing the shooting of Alex Wilson off the bench is a sign of the depth of this Bendigo Spirit team.
So Burrows can't get the layup to fall. And Porter. Dunlop fires for 3, in and out. And the Lynx come up with the defensive rebound. Burrows. Pass comes away. Edwards gets her first basket of the game.
Little move there, Jesse. Just patient. It's tough when you sit at the end of the bench. You don't get much of a look at it until the game's beyond doubt. But a chance just stars of the future to go out there and show what they can do.
So final 30 seconds of the game this afternoon in Bendigo. McLean. 3-point attempt, fired away, won't drop. Sharp with the rebound. Shot clock off. So most likely the last play of the day. Clinch Hoylard. And a real wrestle on the floor there for the loose ball. And Perth have the possession arrow. So 7 seconds left on the clock in this one. And Bendigo will make it 2-0 to start the Cygnett WNBL season. And Perth, well, they'll be 0-2.
And look, some change in personnel, but this is last year's grand final, and a team that was in it up to their eyeballs in that grand final. As we said, they won game 1 in Melbourne. Now, some change in personnel, some of the best imports we've seen in this league played for the Lynx last year, and they are not back this season. But that's a tough start for a team to go 0-2 after challenging for a grand final last year.
So full time in Bendigo, and the Spirit get the job done against the Perth Lynx, 85-66. And we'll go courtside very shortly to get some reaction from this game, but a wonderful start to the season for the Bendigo Spirit. And Nathan, let's have a look at some of those stats before we head to Mark Alabakov.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye for Mark looking for an interview, but it's been the story of the game. The Lynx just never got it going from beyond the perimeter, and that's what they build their game around. 17%, 5 for 28, it's not going to get it done. Pair that with a total of 21 turnovers to just the 10 for the Spirit. It's going to be tough to win a game when that's the case. 10
turnovers in the game, still a little high, but the coaching staff can probably accept that, but 21, that is a lot of turnovers.
Oh, and the Spirit just efficient in the way they went about it. And those finals numbers, the Spirit shooting 49% in the 2 and 40% on 3. This is a team that's just able to score and get it done. Not quite the high-scoring game we saw against Canberra the other night, but still just 85 putting points on the Lynx. And they're going to be tough to stop.
So Mark Alabakov will join us courtside shortly.
Looks like he's getting Annalie Maley there. Really looking forward to hearing what Annalie's got to say. As we've mentioned, came off with MVP last season in WNBA action, wins a bronze medal at the World Cup. Let's hear what she has to say down there with Mark Alabakov.
I'm here with Annalie Maley. Great second up win. So 2 games to start the round, 2 wins.
Yeah, it feels really good to be back in Bendigo playing on a home court. I mean, the crowd was amazing, and it's just it's a special feeling to be able to kick it off with people like this around. So.
And they came hard for you in that third quarter. You were able to stabilise in the fourth. What was the difference to get you over the line?
I think the game of basketball ebbs and flows, and we've had a really hard pre-season practicing those situations where we're down and we need to come back, or dealing with runs. And credit to Perth, they shot the lights out in that third quarter, but I think our focus was always defensively, being able to get the ball and run, and I think we executed that more as the third quarter went on.
Well done, great start to the year, well done today.
Thank you.
So Mark Alabakov there with Annalie Maley, and we'll see if Mark can get a follow-up interview before we finish our coverage from Bendigo this afternoon. But Nathan, just your thoughts on the game.
Oh, well, let's just touch on Annalie Maley for a sec. What a star. I mentioned signing autographs just as a spectator at the Flyers game the other night, as it looks like Mark is getting Kelsey Griffin. But Annalie, just an absolute stud. You saw at the World Cup Maley jerseys floating around the stadiums in Sydney. So she's a stud, an absolute star now, a young up-and-comer. And her hero growing up now joins Mark. It's Kelsey Griffin.
I'm here with Kelsey Griffin, one of the legends of the WNBL and legends of Bendigo. There's 2 banners up there that are championships that she was a finals MVP for. What does it mean to you to be back playing basketball in Bendigo?
It's really special. I owe Bendigo a lot. When I first came out here in 2012, the community welcomed me, helped me to fall back in love with basketball, and so it's really great to be back here playing for this town.
And you've got quite a talented lineup. There's people who can play multiple positions, people that can score, people that can defend. In my opinion, you're one of the favourites for the championship. What's going to be the identity of this team if they go all the way?
I think if you look at the average of scoring across the 2 games this weekend, it can be anyone's night on any night, and everyone contributes, and we back each other, and we do it by committee, and that's fun basketball. But we also want to get better at defense, and we made a big step today in being able to hold teams to a lower score, and so that's something we want to continue to improve on. But our work ethic, that's what we're going to hang our hat on, is our work ethic.
Well, 2-0 start. Congratulations on the win today. Best of luck for the season.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much to Mark Alabakov in Bendigo this afternoon courtside. And Nathan, we've got to wrap things up shortly before we get ready to go to the second game of our doubleheader on the Cygnett WNBL this afternoon. Townsville up against the UC Capitals, but just the top scorers.
What a fun game and a fun season underway. Chloe Bibby, 28 points for the Lynx. Heck of a game for her. Megan McKay had the 20 for the Spirit. And let's mention Annalene Maley, just occasional 19 and 12 there for her.
So that concludes game 1 this afternoon of our doubleheader, live on 9 now from Bendigo. The full-time score, the Bendigo Spirit 85, the Perth Lynx 66. Coming up shortly, we'll have full coverage of the match from Townsville. The Townsville Fire taking on the UC Capitals. That's all from Bendigo.